Can I be brutally honest for a second? Some people might not like what I'm about to say, but if you're poor today, the chances of you getting rich, really rich, in this lifetime are painfully slim. Bad luck seems to always follow poor people like a shadow, while the rich always seem to catch a break. A job referral here, a bailout there, a right place, right time moment that never seems to happen for you. I know. That's not the kind of motivational quote you'd want hanging on your bedroom wall. But if you're still with me, I promise I'm not here to depress you. This isn't some cynical rant about how everything sucks and nothing matters. I'm here to talk about why the system is the way it is, and more importantly, what we can realistically do about it. Welcome back to Make Sense of It, where we break down finance, economics, and investing in a way even a 5-year-old could understand. And an 80-year-old would still feel confident enough to invest. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Let me start with a show I recently watched. The Platform on Netflix, a Spanish dystopian thriller. Or, if you're more into American pop culture, think of Squid Game meets Survivor, but this time, prisoners are stacked in vertical cells, each on a different level, floor 1 at the top, floor 333 at the bottom. Every day, a platform full of food is lowered from the top. Those on the upper floors eat first. By the time it reaches the lower levels, there's nothing left but scraps, if that. Chaos, starvation, and desperation set in below, while those above dine on steak and strawberries. The cruel twist? The prisoners don't earn their floors. They're assigned randomly. And every month, they're reassigned. So one month you might be on floor 6. The next, you could wake up on floor 171. That's kinda how real life works too. Only in reality, most people never leave the floor they were born on. And in that sense, the platform becomes less of a dystopian fantasy and more of a metaphor for economic reality. Those born into wealth, the upper floors, have access, abundance, and choices. Those at the bottom, they're stuck in survival mode, hoping something trickles down. Let's shift from fiction to fact. In early 2022, a deadly fire swept through a Bronx apartment building. 17 people died, most of them immigrants, families with children. It happened in the dead of winter. The building had space heaters running non-stop. Doors that were supposed to close automatically didn't. The residents knew it was a risk, but what choice did they have? When you're poor, you don't get to pick safe. You pick affordable. This same pattern repeats in every city. Unsafe housing, overcrowded public transit, dangerous jobs with no benefits. It's not that poor people don't understand risk, it's that they can't afford to avoid it. And this is where the idea of luck gets twisted. When something terrible happens to a wealthy person, we call it bad luck. When it happens to a poor person, it's often dismissed as inevitability, as if they should have known better or made smarter choices. But the truth is, they didn't have the luxury of choices in the first place. Poverty doesn't just mean less money. It means fewer escape routes, fewer safety nets, and fewer second chances. Now let's talk about the other side, the rich. Ever wonder why they always seem to catch all the breaks? Here's the truth. Luck favors the prepared. And who's the most prepared? The kids who grow up in neighborhoods with good schools, clean parks, and 2-parent homes. The ones who had SAT tutors, summer camps, and parents who knew how to help them fill out a FAFSA, or didn't need one at all. In behavioral economics, this is called path dependence. Your starting conditions shape your trajectory, not because of fate, but because of feedback loops. If your parents have degrees, you're more likely to go to college. If they own a house, you inherit stability. If they know someone, you get your foot in the door. Privilege isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's as simple as having someone to pick you up from school, or a quiet place to do homework, or parents who can afford to say no to a toxic job. And sure, we all know that one story, the kid from the inner city who built a tech startup, or the barista who became a best-selling author. We love those stories, they're heartwarming. They give us hope, but they're also incredibly rare. They go viral precisely because they're exceptions. Meanwhile, the average kid in poverty grows up with more trauma, more debt, less access, and far fewer chances to fail safely. And when they do make it, they often carry deep emotional and financial scars. Consider this. Over 70% of lottery winners in the US end up broke within 5 years. Why? Because money without preparation is chaos. If you've never learned how to manage $1,000, managing $1 million is a setup for disaster. So, if being poor sucks and getting rich is nearly impossible, should we just give up? Absolutely not. But we do need to reset the goalposts. Instead of dreaming about jumping from the bottom to the top, focus on moving up just one level. From food insecurity to a stocked pantry. From paycheck to paycheck to an emergency fund. From renting a room to renting an apartment. Instead of fantasizing about level 100, focus on getting from level 1 to level 3. Build a staircase so your kids can start from level 4. That's how generational mobility actually works. One solid rung at a time. Let's talk about happiness for a second. In a 2010 study from Princeton, Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman and economist Angus Deaton found that in the US, happiness increases with income, but only up to around $75,000 a year. Beyond that, additional income doesn't make people meaningfully happier. Yes, more money reduces stress, especially when you're struggling to meet basic needs. But once you reach that threshold, things like relationships, purpose, health, and personal growth start to matter more. Ironically, if you keep chasing more income after your needs are met, you might start sacrificing the very things that make life worth living. If you're starting at the bottom, don't look up at Elon Musk. Look back at who you were last year. Did you pay off a credit card? Did you finally see a dentist? Did you have some extra money left at the end of the month? That's growth. That's a win. Now teach your kids about saving, about compounding interest, about how taxes work. Build the knowledge and habits that will make their starting floor stronger than yours. Generational progress isn't about one giant leap. It's about quietly, steadily stacking bricks, even if no one claps for you yet. No, life isn't fair. And no, the game isn't balanced. But pretending everything's fine doesn't help. What helps is seeing the board clearly, playing it with intention, and helping the next person climb one floor higher than you did. So don't obsess over being rich. Obsess over being resilient. Over being wise. Over the kind of person who builds stability, protects your people, and creates space for the next generation to thrive. Because even if you never make it to level 100, a life on level 3, with peace, purpose, and love, is a damn good win. If this spoke to you, hit subscribe and share it with someone climbing their own staircase. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Until then, stay grounded, stay sharp, keep climbing. And never forget, luck doesn't just favor the bold, it favors the well-prepared. And remember, poverty is expensive, but confusion, even more so.